The future of labor will be one of complete autonomous control. We'll give our bodies to corporations willingly for their physical capabilities, while our minds sit placated by a stream of virtual content which shifts to our desires. You'll barely register if you're even working, as your muscle movements are automated to complete tasks with near perfect efficiency. So how did we get here? In the United States, over the last few years, cult favorite companies like Apple, Walmart, Disney, and Nike were under fire for ties to sweatshops, worker discrimination, and heightened suicide rates among laborers, alongside a multitude of other unfair labor practices. But what's the incentive for these companies? Clearly, it's not ethics, as they merely value their productivity. In our digital world, these worker violations are only becoming more transparent and lawfully enforced. But what if cheap labor was the future, and the workers themselves were more than willing to provide their service in a world without sweatshops? Author Franklin Foer, in his book A World Without Mind, discusses the implications that tech giants like Google and Amazon have on the future of society as a whole. Foer argues that Amazon's dominance in the retail market has led to the destruction of small businesses and the homogenization of products and ideas. He contends that Amazon's algorithms and data collection practices are eroding privacy and autonomy, and that the company's control over the distribution of books and other media is leading to a lack of diversity in the marketplace of ideas. Consumers are nowadays more than ever driven to shop, or even to explore the internet, based on content fed to them by algorithms. And that doesn't just stop at Amazon, where the very products you put in your home, art, hobbies, and etc. are all spoon-fed and controlled, and we can't get enough of it. Furthermore, NPR reporters Waylon Wong and Adrian Ma discuss a frightening new reality. In Amazon warehouses across the country, a trend known as gamification is taking hold. The idea is simple. By rewarding workers for their productivity, efficiency, and good reviews, they'll work harder. The rewards are virtual, of course, but workers can earn high points to get scores and spend the currency that they earn on digital pets and cosmetics. But it's also about competition. Pitting your score against your coworkers for the same task. This is the new reality for many workers, whether it's in an Amazon warehouse or driving for Uber. But what does this mean for the future of labor? Are we turning our jobs into a game where the prize is a virtual trophy and the cost is our autonomy and humanity? As we automate more and more tasks, it's important to ask ourselves, at what cost are we willing to sacrifice for productivity? It's issues like these that are shaping the future of work. What's so concerning about the gamification of work, especially in boring, menial jobs, is that they are, in essence, stealing your creativity. There are numerous studies that show a direct correlation between boredom and creativity, but without boredom, corporations are stealing and monetizing our imagination. We become drones, husks of people. The bigger implication here is especially relevant looking into philosophical examples like Plato's allegory of the cave. He described a scenario where a group of people who've been imprisoned in a cave since birth can only see the shadows on a cave wall, which they believe to be true reality. One of the prisoners escapes and realizes that there's a world outside of the cave, but is quickly mocked by the prisoners stuck inside who can't perceive a reality outside of their own. With the subtle eradication of our critical thinking skills at the hands of large corporations and social media platforms, how can we possibly envision a better future than one continually feeding us content to consume instead of question? Artists Sun Yuan and Kachi Chan are making critical statements on what it means to live in a society where the boundaries between human and technological relationships are ever-changing. Sun Yuan's Can't Help Myself features an industrial robotic arm endlessly mopping up its own motor fluid before it can escape its reach, which is eerily reminiscent of blood. Kachi-chan's Sisyphus has opposing forces of robot arms pitted against one another, destined to ceaselessly create and destroy small structures robotically constructed across the exhibition. Noticeably, we can draw parallels to the growing necessity of automated labor for our own survival as a species. And it's not hard to imagine a future workforce of near-automated laborers forced to work for their own survival in our hyper-capitalist future. The future workforce will be spoon-fed fun and pleasure right into our headsets to distract our thoughts, while augmented corporate-controlled suits animate our limbs to do their bidding. And we're going to welcome our dystopian future with open arms. Corporations will continue to prioritize productivity over ethics, with the rise of automation and digital surveillance in the workplace marking the start of the loss of autonomy in the workforce. But most of you, myself included, would rather spend 4 hours on a weekend catching up on a good novel or TV show than packing boxes in a hot Amazon warehouse. Well, now you can do both at the same time, and you'll get paid while you're at it. You get your digital point-earned Amazon cake, and you can eat it too.